Good morning, everyone. It is Dave. It is Saturday, June 24th, 2023. Bo again has taken off on us. As soon as she has her breakfast, she's out and about exploring the neighborhood. This is Chicago Peace, and look at how beautifully it's opened. We also, look at that, have a sport of regular peace right here at the base. So it's very cool, very unique, and that, by the way, is Margaret Merrill. And the white scaviola down here is the ground cover, next to the Corsican mint and a seedling of a macadamia. So let's see what's going on with the garden this week. Take a look at the Dahlia. That is just outstanding. I can't wait for that to open. We'll walk around and take a look at seeing if we can see what color the bloom is from the other side. You can see some of the apples beginning to take on some color now. Even though it's just the end of June, this is Anna apple. She's an early producer. I was walking around earlier and just saw on this particular lily, each of them only had one bloom as the terminal bud. I was kind of disappointed by that, but we'll see. Hopefully next year there will be more. Because usually, and we'll walk over here, there's like a cluster like this of maybe 4 or even 5 blooms. But it is the first year for that, so we'll see how that goes. One of the coolest roses, although I would only put it in really hot climates because it is susceptible to mildew and rust, is Rio Samba. But just a plethora, I guess, of colors you could call it. And then the Shasta daisies are absolutely stunning. And of course my dwarf Chamaecyparis and the Philadelphus blooming, finally. So happy about that. Touch of class, and take a look at the crab apples. The delphiniums are really still incredible looking. They've taken over from the foxglove, so that was a really nice transition. Last few remnants of garden party there. But Duet. And another Chrysler Imperial coming up. And here's the tree lilies. This is the second year for them. They have multiplied, but again, very few buds on these. So, hopefully the blooms will be worth it. The blooms are very, very large, trumpet-shaped blossoms. Lynn Anderson. The catmint down here. And the cherry tree. Apricot. And I spent this week doing some pruning, so the laurel tree is back into a gumdrop shape. Hopefully that'll be the only time this summer I have to prune it. Prune it again in the fall as we head into the winter time. The champaka tree coming up into bloom. Sterling silver down here. Some Ingrid Bergman still left. I'm not sure if I showed you this last week, but I went through and did some weeding. Pulled out the violas, worked the mulch a little bit, and I'll continue on. I stopped because I wanted to prune the laurel tree, and I need to still pick up the cuttings. I also up here thinned out the macadamia. There was a lot of growth coming on to the sides and the trunk area, the branches, and I cleaned that out so that the tree is a lot more open and wispy, and that'll save me a lot of pruning if I do any pruning in the wintertime this year. I'm thinking about just letting it go and just keeping it thin. I'm looking forward to the blooms also on this Peruvian daffodil. The plants have done great, first year bulbs, and we will see if they bloom, hopefully. We'll find out shortly. More delphiniums. There's the front of that dahlia blossom. Looks like it'll probably be at least a pink, or maybe a pink with white. Some plants I still need to get planted. The lemon verbena, the quince. I took down a huge part of a honeysuckle out in front, and it fills up the barrel every week. And so I'm using the pond right now as a extra little holding area. The Chiananthus tree has been in the ground a month and 2 days now. So I'm hoping it is taking hold and getting used to its new environment. The agastache holding in really well there. And so is the Japanese maple. We've had a few hot days, but nothing up in the hundreds yet, or even high 90s. So hopefully we got at least another 7 to 10 days left. If it gets really bad, I'll throw some shade cloth over that just to protect it. Again, this is a first year planting, but a pretty established plant. And I'm still happy I only got that for $60, so I can't beat that. Normally it's about double that. A few gallon containers I need to put in. Another Shasta. The bee balm. And me in the way. Sorry, it's early morning. So the sun is just coming up. The Gara has just done outstanding this year. More heliotrope in the back. The Alstroemeria just about done for the season. Variegated Jacob's ladder. And then the Dahlia or rabbit's foot fern around the base of the sweet shade. This always comes up every single year. And the name, of course, is escaping me. All I can think of is Daphne, but this is another very sweet, fragrant plant. It's not there. I can't remember. I'll remember for next week, though, or probably as soon as I turn off the video. Mirror plant and some sword fern behind. A really nice stand of daylilies. That daylily just did never open. It opened halfway and just closed back up. Some lemon balm. And as soon as I get some room in the trash can, I'll cut the lavender back, but it's probably at least 2 more weeks out. Mandevilla. And I also need to start cutting this back because look at all the growth this has. So what I'll normally do is on a branch like this, just go through and cut it really near the base just to keep the shape and form of the magnolia, because it has really expanded and it needs to be cut back. All right, so that is this week. Hopefully Bo will join us next week. But until then, I hope you have a great week. And for those of you that made it to the end of the video, here is Bo. She's just arrived, very fashionably late. So I'm sure she'll be in our next video next week.